Show us what you're doing, baby.
So we should have done this a long time ago, but I'm late. We're gonna add this irrigation, this drip tape irrigation to the garden. I'm starting to get some blossom end rot on my tomatoes, and that can be from a lot of things, but I know from the weather that we've been having, most of the reason I got that is because of uneven watering. We'll get showers, it's been real dry, and when you get showers like that and you get a lot of moisture at one time, it can cause problems with the blossom end rot. We've used, the original name I heard it called was T-tape. I don't know if that's what brand this is. It came from Irrigation Mart in Ruston, Louisiana, and they sell a garden kit, which is what this is. It's just a real easy kit that has all the connections in it. You can do 10 100-foot rows out of it. They give you 100 foot of pipe, of mainline pipe, which is this bigger black plastic pipe right here, and 1,000 feet of this flat irrigation tape right here, which has these little bitty drip emitters on it that drip, and you can just lay it right on top of this fabric.
I like the way they sell a kit, so you don't have to get all the different couplings and everything that you need to. In the past, we ordered everything separate, didn't we? Or did you get the kit?
All you have to have really is the tape, and then the connectors that connect. I'll show you one of the connectors that connects the tape to the line. And this is a fancy one right here. So that T-tape line will slide onto this, and then this thing right here spins down on there to hold it. And it's got a way to turn it on and off each row. You know, I usually don't mess with that. I usually get the connector that goes to the T-tape, and it have a 1/2-inch pipe thread on it, and then I just use PVC for everything because it's easy for me to get PVC at the hardware store. We just happened to be passing by Ruston, so we just picked it up, the kit, you know. This black mainline plastic pipe is kind of hard to work with. You know, it wants to kink up on you and everything. It does a lot better if you let it sit out in the sun and get hot. It's a lot more malleable. But anyway, what we're going to do is lay this. We pulled the T-tape down each of the rows that we want to water, and then we're going to hook the. I'll show you how quick this is. This ain't going to be no long video. If I knew how to talk, it'd go quicker than this. But so they give you a little puncture tool. So the puncture tool right there.
That's cool.
And so you would poke a hole in your main line like this. And it's irrigation, it really don't even matter if it leaks that much. And then I'm gonna get on this side. Poke that in there just like that.
I heard it pop.
So then see, I'm holding all this stuff down with these landscape staples that go to this mat. So then you pucker that thing up right there, slide it on, give it a good wiggle, you know. Let me open that thing up all the way, give it a good wiggle, and then I'll turn it down and turn it down, and it'll pinch it on. Okay, so that's it. That's one line hooked up.
That was fast.
The open end of this line, you would fold it over and then just slide that thing on there right like that. I'm not gonna do it right now because I'm gonna hook everything off, then blow all the lines out. And then after all the lines have been blown out, I'll put this one, this is my line closest to the water faucet. I'll stick that on there and then blow the other 3 out, and then, you know, get it till they're all blown out. But that way, you know, you can take this off from time to time and blow all the lines out if you want to.
So show me again how that works. You don't have to fold it over or anything?
Yeah, we did fold it over.
Okay.
We folded it over just like that. And then it slides on just like that.
And it comes off easily?
Yeah, just pull it off.
Huh.
All it is keeping it kinked, you know.
Yeah.
But we're not going to put it on just yet. And then we're gonna hold this line down with these same landscape staples.
Yeah.
All right, so the other end of the main line.
Ooh, I got my first cucumber. You snuck up on me. I'm gonna eat you for supper. I like how easy it is to puncture that.
What'd you do with that figure 8?
Figure 8, it's in the bottom of there. It's in the bucket. Should be.
So the other, this, I'm not gonna do, you can't see my other end of the line right now because it's in the cantaloupes. So this thing right here would go on there, onto your main line. Right, and then you would kink it. Same thing, slide that over, and that caps that end. You know, again, you can take it off, blow the line out, blah, blah, blah.
Huh.
And then the other end that will hook to the hose, same kind of connection as the other line, that slides on there, and then that'll go down to tighten it up. This is the, there's a water filter in here, and then a pressure reducer, and then we also got an inline infuser that they gave me I bought it separate, and they gave me the wrong, so this is 3/4, all this stuff is 3/4 pipe thread, and the inline infuser they gave me is 1/2 inch. So I'll have to go to the hardware store and buy 2 1/2 inch to 3/4 fittings.
So the infuser's gonna do what?
So the infuser, it's just they call it a venturi, which means that water's passing by from through here fast enough that it creates a suction on this little small hose that leads out of it. If you looked at this little thing I'm talking about, this infuser, it looks like a pipe fitting with a little bitty barb connection off of it, so you can put a flexible line on it, and we'll drop that down into a bucket of liquid fertilizer, you know, like Miracle-Gro. You don't have to use Miracle-Gro, there's a lot of different kinds, but
We can also make rabbit poop tea and use
it
that.
has to be, you have to make sure your water, I mean, it's got to be, to have the best luck with it, everything needs to be completely dissolved, you know, because playing with clogging problems is a mess. You know, these have some little filters, you know, like what you would find in you know, I mean, it needs to be smaller mesh than that, you know, to stop problems from the infuser. It needs to be completely, because it's not a very big line. Maybe I'll show you all that when I get that thing hooked up and we get it running. But that way we can fertilize at the same time, you know.
Yeah.
And so everything here can, of course, benefit from fertilizer. But it's not going to take us long to hook this up. I mean, we're not only talking about doing, how many? 5 rows? Yeah. 5 rows. So we'll hook this up real quick and we'll turn it on and let it run. Tonight we've got a little timer that we hadn't checked to see if it's working, but you can, you know, get a little cheap timer and you turn it on for 2 hours and it'll cut the hose off. I always need to double check it to make sure it cut the hose off, though. You don't want to turn it on 2 hours tonight and then come back and check it tomorrow. Not that it would hurt the vegetables that much, but there just ain't no sense in it, you know.
Yep. Okay, well, let's carry on.
All right, let's hook it up. That will hook up to the hose. I could have maybe gotten y'all some more weeds to try to look through.
And there's my little work shirt.
So then I tighten that thing up on there.
So the water hose hooks up here?
The water hose is gonna hook up right there.
And this is gonna be what? Right there?
That's so you can clean that filter out.
Oh, okay.
If you have to.
Okay.
See, I got some of those weeds out of y'all's way.
So the thing about the work shirt, after you finish working during the day, Daddy always hung his work shirts up in the garden. He said it kept the deer out, so I do that too, just because Daddy used to. That's a handy dandy little...
Yeah, and it's nice that they make it yellow so you don't lose it.
Mm-hmm.
All this other stuff is black.
So the big tape, the big tubing you have, you can reuse that year after year, correct?
Yes.
And we have reused our drip tape from year to year. But, you know, you just got to make sure they have coupling pieces that you can join the different pieces of drip tape together. When you're kind of set to this, this layout on your garden rows next year. But I bet that the big stuff will last a long time, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, I don't particularly like the big stuff. So see, like that line is off. You know, you could, I've never really played with cutting separate lines on and off. I just always water everything at the same time.
But then, isn't this a lot easier than what you've done in the past?
Huh?
This kit right here, isn't that a lot easier than the way you did it with PVC pipe? Quicker to install? Quicker to set it up?
Yeah, sure. You know, but it's not always better though.
How do we know it's not going to drain? How do we know it's not going to leak right there where it connects?
It really doesn't matter on irrigation stuff if it leaks.
Okay.
I mean, you're watering, you know.
It's not going to leak enough to where it doesn't lose pressure.
No, that white thing is a pressure reducer.
Okay.
That doesn't mean it's not going to leak. It just means that it's got a pressure reducer on it, and that it keeps from blowing this cheap line stuff out. All right, so once again, our main line, they give you this little tool to poke a hole in the main line. We already ran these yesterday just because we had some time left in the day, the T-tape lines. So now I know where to poke the hole. Not that it matters if it's off a little bit, it really don't. I poke that in there. I did put a little slobber on there.
That's hard.
You didn't hear that one pop, but it went in there.
Yeah, I didn't hear that one.
I'm gonna open that all up all the way. Slide this on here. Wiggle it until it stops. And then tighten it up right there. I'm gonna keep my line flat though.
So does the drip tape, does the orange part need to be up or down?
It really don't matter. I mean, it really don't.
Okay.
Water runs downhill no matter where you are.
Okay. So let me show you what we're battling with tomatoes for blossom end rot. That right there looks pretty good from up there. That's blossom end rot. So chickens will get to eat that one. So that's what we're going to battle. And hopefully getting this irrigation in and getting consistent watering will help cut that down. Okay, so we got everything on except we're blowing the pipe out before we put the closures on, just in case there's any crud or plastic in there. We got everything hooked up. That only took about 10 minutes. Gonna fold it over. We just finished blowing it out, and I'm gonna fold it over and put this on there. So this is so cool. I like being able to turn it on and off. So it'll have to build up pressure before it starts seeping out of those holes. You can see it starting to seep right there though. One of the good things about the drip tape too is it conserves water, right? Since you're not doing overhead watering.
True.
You won't have as much evaporation, and it doesn't get on the foliage of the tomatoes and peppers, so you don't have as many fungal diseases, right?
That's correct too.
I like it. That didn't take long.
No, it doesn't take long. That's for sure.
So now we just have to get the, whatever you call it, to where you can hook up fertilizer and let it stream.
Right, what we'll do is put the fertilizer bucket right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll just be a fitting that goes between the end of the hose and then the end of the whole contraption for this thing.
Okay.
And we'll use it to fertilize, and then we can start turning this thing on for, you know, depending on the rain of course, but a couple of hours every couple of days, you know.
How do you know how much this drips? Is there some sort of...
Sure, there is a formula. I mean, you can, it may even have it on here how many gallons per hour. There's the brand name Netafilm right there. And a bunch of numbers.
Do those numbers mean anything to you?
Means I didn't take as much math as I should have. But, you know, if y'all want to zoom in on any of that later on and study on them, y'all have at it. I'm just going to go by what they look.
It tells you for however many minutes, but I don't know. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to go by what the plants look like. I mean, that's how I usually water, you know.
Yeah.
As long as we keep some moisture on there, which we can do every couple of days. If we get a half-inch rain, you know, maybe we skip a day or so, you know. Got these peas coming in, but we'll fix them on down anyway. I think what we're going to do on the cantaloupe is this end that runs up to the tomatoes.
Yeah.
Obviously, we should have put it down before the cantaloupes got like this.
Yeah.
Obviously. But we may just lay it on top.
I don't know how that's going to work on top. I mean, you could snake it through. I mean, let it go on top. I wonder if it gets too hot and superheats during the day, it might, well, it's not going to get any hotter than the fabric underneath it, though.
No, I'm not,
It might work.
it might work.
Yeah, ideally, put the drip tape down before your cantaloupes take over the field.
So we'll just go to the end, and then they send a couple of couplings with the kit. Even for the main line, they send one coupling and then two couplings for the T-tape. So we'll put a coupling on the end and then just run it back down this way.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yep. So we'll show them how you're going to hook the fertilizer up when you get the couplings to go with it tomorrow.
Correct.
Those cantaloupes are looking good. There's one right under there hiding. What variety did you plant?
Right there, right there. Hale's best. Yep.
Yep. We figured out the best time to pick the cantaloupe is before it rains too, because if you wait for it to rain on them, if they're almost ripe, if they're pretty ripe, and you've got some rain coming, you need to go ahead and pick them because they're going to be sweeter.
Yeah, the story is to cut the water off to them.
Okay.
Like in an irrigation setting, you know.
Okay.
Of course, they're all not going to be ripe at the same time, so kind of have to cut the water off, hunt and pick for the ones that are the ripest. And then if you want to cut it back on to try to finish out some more of them.
Yeah, the water dilutes the sugar in the cantaloupe, so they're much sweeter. Much sweeter if you pick them before it rains on them.
All right, it's supper time.
Yep.
We'll just let the water run and see y'all later.